Coming to you from BLC Studios in Mankato, Minnesota, this is the Bethany Vikings podcast. Hosted by Brock Aker, Jake Anderson, and Gabe Stace. It's time to go inside Bethany Athletics.
Welcome to the last of the final round of the first round, where we'll crown the last person to go to the championship of the Bethany Initials. They'll face Hunter Nielsen and Matt Verdugo. And this is the coaches / Katie Joe, the independent, like the Notre Dame style, deciding who's going to represent really the coaches and the workers here at Bethany in the sports area. Starting off first is the coach that won his first round matchup 2 years ago during COVID, missed the championship. He was the heavy favorite, but he's back here now to try to go on a roll again. It's Coach Derek Lingholm. How are you doing today, Derek?
Doing well. Hoping to avenge my own screw up a couple years ago.
And you coached the men's soccer team. How surprised or were you confident when you won the first regular season for men's soccer of this year? Was that kind of a surprise in the locker room, or did you guys kind of expect it going throughout the year with Max Bush and everyone?
No, I mean, Superior was definitely the favorite. I don't think they had lost a conference game in about 4 years. So us beating them in the regular season, I don't think it was necessarily shocking, but it was a little bit of an upset. But we feel like we're on even playing field with them now, and hopefully we can get the job done here in the fall.
Awesome. Well, next up is Tony Bowler. He's the men's and women's head coach here at Bethany. And the men's tennis team is kind of turning a new leaf, Tony. You've won a couple games against other programs that we've never beat before. You're playing really competitive with Superior and Northwestern this year. What's really been the change?
Talent. We just had a great incoming freshman class. So, and the guys, when you get that kind of talent and the other coaches know when they're pushing each other, that's been the difference this year. So now we got to focus on the women's team and get some talented players in here so we can get that team competitive as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for representing. You're representing the men's tennis team. Caitlin Baru represented the women's last week. She got a point, so you better get a point this week. There might be some smack talk in the locker room. And then we have Emma Morris, the women's soccer coach. So we got a lot of fall sports here, as we got Josh coming up as well. How are you doing today, Emma?
Very well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
In the intro here, you're not that confident right now.
Definitely not. I've heard Derek and all his, facts and all sorts of stories and stuff on the bus. So I know I'm up against it today.
What is, so you're from England, is that correct?
That is correct.
How many soccer stadiums have you played in that compares to the Bethany, the Shields Field, as what's called?
A lot. I couldn't put a number on it, but a lot.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us here, Emma. The last coach here today is Josh Pedersen, sorry. Gabe, that's why I have Gabe here to correct me. The men also won the conference tournament this year, Josh. What really went into that this year?
Guys like Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. Second year all conference for him. An experienced group of guys. They're all seniors, upperclassmen. They understood. They learned how to win and then understood how to win. And they picked a great time to do it.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I did the clues this week, so there is no butchering. Like Gabe can't just talk about topics this week that Josh knows. So there's no, what's the word? Collusion. There you go, Gabe. No collusion. All right. The last person is the sports info director here at Bethany Lutheran College. She's the one that okays the podcast. It's Katie Joe Swenson. How are you doing today, Katie Joe?
Doing great. Excited to compete.
This question might get you in trouble, but I'm just curious. What is your favorite sport to cover here at Bethany?
Ooh, it depends on the day. Depends on the season. I love all of the sports, fall, winter, and spring. So it just depends on what day it is.
All right, I think that's the right answer.
Sports is your answer.
Very diplomatic. Way to go.
Right down the middle. Yeah, okay.
All right, we'll begin this, the initials here. I know Coach Lingholm has a class to teach here, just upcoming shortly. The rules, again, our contestants are given clues to 12 items, which can be people, places, things, anything. Each item has the same set of initials. Contestants are given up to 6 clues for each item. The first person to ring in with their name is allowed up to 5 seconds to answer, and they can ring in at any time during the progression of the clues. If they are correct, they get 1 point. If they are incorrect, they're out for that round, and the other players can continue to ring in. The winner of the initials game is whoever gets the most points. If there's a tie, there's a 3-clue tiebreaker that is used with the tied contestants. The tiebreakers will also have the same initials as the original 12 items. No phones or using other people if you have people in the room with you to make sure there is no cheating. All right, so the initials this week is M like mom and G like grandpa. MG is the initials. All right, item number 1, clue number 1. Again, name is your buzzer. Clue number 1, connected to the Princess and the Frog and Candyman. Clue number 2, associated with purple, green, and gold. Clue number 3, Mobile, Alabama held its first celebration in the United States.
Tony.
Derek.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Tony's right with Mardi Gras. And Tony's on the board first here for the coaches edition of the Bethany initials. Derek was just a split second behind. Last week we had Naria and Steph.
I think it was just technical difficulties. I think I was first.
That's why I have Gabe here. He's got the headset on. We go by Gabe. He's the letter of the law. All right, so Tony's on board first here with 1 point. Item number 2, clue number 1, serves ice cream for $1.45. Clue number 2, opened in Mankato in 2007. Clue number 3, rated 3.5 stars on TripAdvisor. Clue number 4, in between Best Buy and Walmart. Clue number 5, related to Hoo Hot.
Katie Joe,
All right, Katie Jo, what is
Mongolian Grill.
it? Mongolian Grill is correct. And Katie Jo's on the board, 1 apiece as the independent here. Trying to go on again, facing Hunter Nielsen and Matt Verdugo next week in the championship. All right, item number 3 now. Clue number 1, connected to the color green. Clue number 2, started a broadcasting career in 1995. Clue number 3, has 3 children. Clue number 4, attended Notre Dame University. Clue number 5, left ESPN in 2020.
Derek.
All right, Derek.
Mike Greenberg.
That is incorrect.
I didn't think so.
Sorry. So Derek is out for the first item. That kind of goes into the last clue, though. Used to host a show with another guy with the same first name. All right, 5,
Josh.
4.
Is it Mike Greeny?
That is also incorrect.
Oh,
3, 2, 1. All right.
Mike and Mike in the morning, but I couldn't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, it's Mike Golick.
That's right.
So, yeah, Greeny went to Northwestern. So if I would have said Northwestern attended, that would have been Mike Greenberg. So no point on that one. And the color green was connected to the Philadelphia Eagles where Mike Golick played. All right, item number 4. Again, Tony and Katie Jo is tied with 1 point. The rest are still trying to get on the board. Item number 4, clue number 1, born in Peekskill, New York. Clue number 2, has 9 children. Clue number 3, has a horseshoe kidney? Clue number 4. Once was a roommate with Geoffrey Rush. Clue number 5. Made $400 in his first film role. The movie was Summer City. Clue number 6, the final clue. Directed the movie Passion of the Christ.
Katie Joe,
Derek.
Mel Gibson.
Yes,
No,
Katie Jo.
I got in first. No,
I said it.
you got to be
Is-
kidding me.
There might be a delay. I
There's a
heard Katie
bad
Jo
delay,
first.
man.
That's what
There's a
Gabe
bad
got
delay.
too. But Katie Jo, that's correct. Mel
Wow.
Gibson.
Gotta get better internet, Derek.
No, I'm at Bethany's internet. That's our problem right there.
Well, yeah, it's Katie Jo up now 2-1. I don't know if you want to put your screen on black, Derek, if that helps. We only need to hear your voice.
No, we'll see. Sounds good.
Oh.
That's true.
You just don't want to see me. I know. It hurts. It hurts, but it's true. Okay.
All right. Well, Lingholm, who was the favorite probably in this, has some work to do. But again, the statistics in the initials this year, the first person that scored and has had the lead after 3 clues has not won. So it's still anyone's game. We're going to item number 5 here. Clue number 1. Connected to sunshine, honey, and birds. Clue number 2. Told in Full House and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Clue number 3. Written by Smokey Robinson and Ronald White. Clue number 4. Also a movie featuring Jamie Lee Curtis. Clue number 5. Features David Ruffin on vocals.
Tony, My Girl.
All right. My Girl is correct. The last clue would have been number
job.
1 song hit by the Temptations. Tony Bowler and Katie Jo are tied at 2 apiece as we go to item number 6. Josh and Emma and Derek all looking to get on the board. All right, item number 6, clue number 1, founded in 1995. Clue number 2, connected to Zebo and FedEx.
Josh,
All right, Josh.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies is correct. That's a good one by Josh on the second clue. What do you think about that, Gabe? You know Josh is going to get that one. All right. Well, Josh is on the board with 1 point, and we are halfway done here. We're going to item number 7 now. Still anyone's game. Emma, you still can come back here. And Derek, the 2 soccer coaches, they're the only ones not on the board here.
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage being not American right now.
I know it is tough. Naria got 1 clue, or one of them last week. Well, should have had 2. I think she rang in first, but we'll go on to item number 7 here. Clue number 1, close to jail. Clue.
Derek.
All right, Derek.
Derek. Marvin Gardens.
Marvin Gardens on clue number 1. All right, that's the Derek Lingholm the fans know from 2 years ago. He's on the board with 1 point.
Wow.
All right, we're going on to item number 8. Clue number 1, invented in 1884. Clue number 2, associated with Leonardo da Vinci. Clue number 3, in a relationship with Megan Fox.
Katie Joe,
All right, Katie Jo.
Machine Gun.
Machine Gun is correct. Katie Jo knows sports information and her pop culture, and she now takes the lead with 3 points. And
you know what the stupid thing is? I was thinking of Brian Austin Green because I knew Green was in there. I'm like, what is the M for? Because they used to be married.
I don't know who that is, Derek, so I can't really help you.
That's because you were born in the 90s. You didn't see Beverly Hills 90210.
Beverly Hills 90210, yeah.
All right, so we got Katie Jo with 3, Tony with 2, Derek and Josh with 1 point, with 4 items left. Clue number 1, item number 9, born in 1973. Clue number 2, 5 feet 6 inches tall. Clue number 3, grew up in North Dakota.
Derek.
All right.
Marnie Gellner.
Marnie Gellner is correct. And Derek now just 1 point away from tying Katie Jo. The next clue was the second female to do play-by-play for an NBA game. So the Trailblazer, Marnie Gellner, goes to Derek as he gets 2 points.
How'd you not know that one, Emma? Come on now.
Yeah, Emma should have had that one. That was right up her alley.
Maybe this one is off Emma Moore, so she can keep on with the last 2 episodes. Everyone getting a point. We'll see right here. There's 3 items left for you, Coach Morris. All right, item number 10, clue number 1, invented in 1925. Clue number 2, named by Samuel Hinkle. Clue number 3, it's made in Stewart's Draft, Virginia. Clue number 4, connected to Halloween. Clue number 5, contains nuts.
Derek.
All right.
Mr. Goodbar.
Mr. Goodbar is correct. And now we're all tied at 3 apiece with Katie Jo and Derek. Josh, you can still enter the equation if you get these last 2 right to force a 3-way tie. Emma, you're mathematically out now, but hey, you can still get a ring in and get a point here and help the others out. All right. Item number 11, clue number 1. The term was first used by John Whitney. Clue number 2. Seen a lot on TV broadcasts. Clue number 3. Has movement. Clue number 4. Connected to Adobe After Effects. Clue number 5. Type of art.
Katie Jo?
All right, Katie Jo.
Motion graphics?
Motion graphics is correct.
Oh.
And Katie Jo takes a 4-3 lead with 1 item to go. So Tony now is eliminated, but you can still ring in Tony, Emma, and Josh here. But
don't feel like you need to. Don't feel like you need to.
Or say one of our names for us.
I'm still living under protest for that Mel Gibson one, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I wish, but we go by the sound. I guess we do have Zoom up here, but all right. Item number 12, clue number 1, born in Orem, Utah. Clue number 2, nicknamed Maximus Prime.
Can you repeat that name?
Yeah, Maximus Prime. Nicknamed Maximus Prime. Clue number 3, drafted in the 5th round in the 2019 NFL Draft. Clue number 4. Today he wears blue and gold. Clue number 5. Won Super Bowl 55. Clue number 6. Gets paid to kick a ball.
I don't want to actually. Yeah. I should be.
All right. 5, 4, 3.
Tony.
All right, Tony.
Oh, no. It's wrong initials.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Derek.
All right,
Matt
Derek.
Gay.
Matt Gay is correct. We're going to overtime. Holy cow.
I thought that was it, but I'm like, God, who is there? I was.
He was the kicker. I couldn't think of his name.
I thought maybe people would get the kicker just because in fantasy. I could have put
Well, and
fantasy
I
football.
thought that was his name, but I'm like, God dang it, is that hit or not? But okay, good deal. That's why you get
All right, we're going to a
last second.
tiebreaker.
So
We're
now
going
it's
to
just Katie
tiebreaker
going
again.
on, right?
Yeah, Katie Joe can answer here. We're going to a tiebreaker again. This is the same initials, 3 clues. All right. So, first tiebreaker, clue number 1, went to Texas A&M. Clue number 2, threw his helmet at Mason Rudolph. Clue number 3, drafted number 1 overall by the Cleveland Browns in 2017. All right, countdown here. 5. Josh has 4, 3.
Derek.
All right, Derek.
Michael Golston.
That is incorrect.
There we go.
So, Katie Joe, you got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Myles Garrett,
Myles Garrett.
defensive end from the Cleveland Browns. All right, we'll go tiebreaker number 2. That's why we make all the tiebreakers, to make sure you have extra. Never know what's going to happen here. All right, item number 2 for the tiebreaker. Again, sudden death here between Derek Lingholm and Katie Joe. Clue number 1, population of 70,253.
Derek. Macon,
All right.
Georgia.
That is incorrect. So, Katie Joe, you still got can ring in when you want. There's still 2 clues left. Clue number 2 is connected to Jesse Ventura. Connected to Jesse Ventura. All right. And clue number 3, suburb of Minneapolis.
I believe it's Maple Grove.
You got it.
Katie Joe gets it. Katie Joe.
Good job, Katie
will
Joe.
go on to the championship. And she'll go on to face Matt Verdugo and Hunter Nielsen next week. Thank you, coaches and Katie Joe, for playing. Another one going all the way down to the wire. And you got tuned in again next week as we'll crown the championship with Bethany.
All right, Katie Joe is in the championship with Hunter Nielsen and Matt Verdugo. We are going to wrap up this episode with just a conclusion of the spring sports this past weekend, beginning with baseball. Baseball swept Northland and a UMAC opponent for the first time this season. They came back in all 3 games, and a lot of it was because of the pitching and the relief pitching.
Yeah, the pitchers were really strong this weekend, racked up a ton of strikeouts, including 26 alone on Saturday. Between that doubleheader, we saw Adam Fierstead come in and get 2 saves. And how about the guy behind the plate?
Yeah, Hunter Pierce came back this week and he caught some. Brent Fowler, his roommate, had a step in that role he's never caught since high school. So the catching's been a big part, kind of like a question mark going back and forth. But now, hopefully, with Hunter Pierce coming back, that stabilized the position. But Brent Fowler, he was a top 3 or top 4 in batting average this year. So that was a pretty good feeling to fill that void until Hunter Pierce came back, and Pierce got a hit in every game of this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Fowler, great job filling in for Pierce all season long. I think exceeded expectations. But you get a guy, an all-conference guy back in Hunter Pierce in front of Liam Peterson, who just hit his first home run.
And guess who was on base when he hit that home run?
Hunter Pierce. First home run of the season for the Vikings, his 5th of his career.
And the win Saturday was unbelievable. That kind of went going against the win as well. Over the monster, that was pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call that a monster, but you're right. Every pop fly was interesting all game long, pushing in.
Speaking of
towards
Fowler,
left field.
Fowler got a double that landed in the infield. An infield double.
You got to love it. You'll take it any way you can get it. I mean, hitting is hard enough in baseball.
So, yeah, hopefully that gets the Vikings kind of get more confident in that back end of the bullpen. They came in, you got Merton doing good. Schubert came in, and like you said, Fierstead with a couple of saves. And that's going to be huge when you get to postseason baseball. Relief pitching is huge. The pitching is really going to win you a championship. The bats seem pretty good this weekend as well. We kind of expect that we're going to score 4 or 5 runs a game at least. But the question is, can the pitching give up less than that?
Yeah, and now we've seen a few good pitching performances stacked together. Some guys getting into a groove this season. We haven't even talked about Nick Schubert yet, who's been on fire recently coming out of the bullpen. But looking ahead, like 3rd place in the UMAC, everything's in front of them that they want to accomplish this season.
Yeah, and I said that. So there's no Logan Nesson, and Matt Wood moved on this year. Ross Beamer is struggling this year, batting around that 220, and Hunter Pierce missed this last month. We're still 3rd place in the UMAC with all of that going on. We're still figuring out relief pitching. I think we found some people this weekend that stepped up in that roles that could be huge in the playoffs. And Hunter Pierce is back now. I expect Ross Beamer to turn around when we get to postseason. That's the great thing about baseball. It just takes one hit really to get out of a slump. And maybe that double he had with the wind in right field, maybe that sparks some confidence. I just still think I like our team since we have a championship pedigree that I think we still have a chance to win the UMAC when it gets to that tournament, even though maybe we haven't had an as successful season as we had the last 3 years during the regular UMAC season.
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts with finishing out the season strong, mostly on the road here.
Yeah, they're done with home UMAC games. You're absolutely correct. Well, that is baseball. We'll move on to softball, and they've also been really good this year. Right now, they are in 3rd place as well.
Yes, technically 3rd place in terms of winning percentage, but we have Northwestern and Superior. They're actually in action right now. The 2 teams ahead of us, just 1 game back in the loss column. So everything there, potential number 1 seed even for the UMAC tournament coming up.
And Superior and Northwestern are playing right now as we are recording this podcast, so that might kind of make a difference when the podcast comes out. But the Vikings do play at Caldwell Park this weekend and going against MLC, Superior, kind of like I think Northland's a part of that as well. But their hitters are consistent this year for softball. Caitlin Halbach, another great week. Eden Ambrose.
Yeah, Caitlin Halbach and Ambrose, they've both broken the past season record in stolen bases. It was 15, set by Brittany Schlomer in 2008. Halbach at 19, Ambrose at 16 right now. And this team can hit, like you said. Kaya Mork is batting .445 now on the season, and she has set the single-season RBI record. So lots of records set. They're winners of 5 straight. Biggest game to watch out for is the final game of the season, and that will be against Wisconsin Superior, who they lost to twice, but one of them was in extra innings.
I think Kayla Senni, she got double-digit strikeouts in a game this weekend as well. I'm making my softball announcing debut this upcoming Tuesday, Gabe. So I'll get to see firsthand the women in action.
Well, good luck on that. And speaking of Senni, she's moving up the strikeouts list too, both in career already as a freshman and obviously single season.
Absolutely. Track and field was also in play this past weekend. The men and women went to Carleton. The men finished 8 out of 10 teams. The women finished 7 out of 10 teams. And to wrap it up with tennis, the men lost 5-4 to Superior. But again, they're staying competitive against Northwestern. You just heard Tony that the talent this year is much improved, right? Brock's not playing on the team anymore. That kind of helps. You get some people like Carlos French in there, and man, that makes a huge difference. And then they bageled Morris 9-0. The women lost 8-1 to Superior, and they also lost to Minnesota Morris. So
did pick up 3 wins though against Morris.
Minnesota Morris, 6-3. So maybe that gets them some momentum going against MLC. That's the last matchup this weekend for both the men and the women. The women's 0-11. Hopefully, maybe they can get on the board against MLC. We'll see. And Tony said that the talent isn't quite there yet, but he's doing his best to keep recruiting. I think if you watch all 6 of those tennis players, I was a part of the team last year as well. They don't give up. Just because they're struggling right now, they still come every day and they're performing at their best. And that's why I really hope we see dividends here against MLC.
Yeah, and still a lot to play for. Obviously, all the teams have UMAC tournaments coming up, championships approaching. We talked about track and field. Very busy week for them. So exciting time of year.
Yeah, we get to the tournaments here in the next couple of weeks. We have our last episode next week of the Bethany Initials Championship, and then one last hoorah. We'll go over the spring sports. But that's Gabe Stays. I'm Brock Aker. Thank you for listening and watching the Bethany Vikings podcast.